DJ Thorough, aka Thorozano, Bridge to the Streets. Right now, you're watching the hottest in the streets, man, on thisisfifty.com. I got a special guest in the building. Introduce yourself.
I'm Dante, Nero, actor, comedian, and relationship guru.
Nah, I gotta be honest. I thought you was a football player.
I got it. I feel you. I play a little football here and there.
You got the Giants linebacker here. Like, you know what's going on? He's got $59 million contract. That's the first thing I thought. I'm like,
That's why I read a lot. Okay. So, because when you look at this, it looks dumb. Right. So, I'm trying to.
You never play sports?
Yeah. I play football. Play football. Play rugby. I did did a little bare knuckle fighting when I was young. I was a maniac.
I can see that.
Well, this was before. I'm old, so this was before. This was in a basement for a couple $100. Oh yeah.
Best part with Van Damme.
I didn't say that, but I didn't have nothing to do with that knot on his head either. So.
Okay, all right. So what are we promoting today? What's going on?
Well, I've been doing this whole kind of media blitz because I just branded my podcast. My podcast. I did a podcast. So there's a kind of a underground favorite comedian named Patrice O'Neal. Him and I did something on Sirius Radio years in the back. It was a relationship based.
Okay.
And then after he passed, I picked it up and we called it Black Phillip, which was the Black Dr. Phil, right?
I like that.
And then when he passed, I picked up the mantra and I called it Beige Phillip because I'm a little more beige.
Okay. A waffle coat.
And then, which was like my homage to him.
Okay.
And then we just rebranded as Man School 202.
Okay.
And that's what we're doing.
So basically, you have a talk show where you speak on issues of
relationships,
being a real man.
Yeah, being a real man, so there's 3 principles that I advocate is authenticity, credibility, and empathy.
Okay.
So
all those 3 is the middle name.
Oh yeah. That's it. That's
you
it.
Get me on the show.
And that fixes everything. So authenticity is that you're truthful about who you are.
Okay.
Credibility, that you say what you mean and mean what you say.
Okay.
So when you say something, you'll bring mouth you know. And empathy, that you understand the person that you're dealing with, that particular relationship, what they're going through in terms of the consideration of why they would act in one way or the other.
Right. Now, was it something from personal experience that happened? Why did you choose this path?
Well, it was something that so little history. I was a male stripper for like 11 years.
I know, that's funny to me.
Yeah, well it is because so let me just say this for the record. It was 60 pounds ago. So it's that. So I get it.
Right.
But you know that was my in the 90s. I was running around, you know, shaking the money maker for money. You know what I'm saying? That's what the hustle. And I actually was a mobile DJ first. But back in the days, we talking about 90s. You had to carry speakers and milk crates, right? And I was like,
I'm skinny, but I carried a lot.
Right. Well, everybody had to carry the crates, and so at the end of the night, and you know this, at the end of the party, everybody's going home with some chick,
right.
And you carrying milk crates and loading the van,
right.
And I was like, yo, it's got to be another way, right? So I was like, boom, if I go in and I do this strip thing, I go in, do a little quick show, bounce around, do a couple shows, and then get my paper, and then wherever the last party, whatever borough I ended in last, that's where I slept. Snatch a little cutie up and end up there. So I was like, this was...
You might be onto something. I think I'm You know what? I'm thinking we're trying this weekend.
I'm telling you, it was a thing.
Strip party this weekend. Check me out. At the Blue Flame, I'll be there, all right? I might have to trip and DJ.
Yeah,
That might be the move for me. You know?
Yeah, I used to go as Prince Mandingo back in the 90s. Did it for like 10 years. Yeah.
All right, I'm done. That's it.
Yeah, well, it is what it is.
Yo!
And old school dudes will tell you that in the 90s up to, you know, all the way up to like almost the 2000, you didn't have a party without a stripper. You would have a male stripper for the females and a you know, I don't know if you could say that now because I mean everything's supposed to be so fluid, but that's how it was. Yeah, okay, fair. So it's you know, so that was the thing, and I was like, I could, you know, let me make me the the product.
Right. Okay.
And then every liability that I have, my car, my home is stuff that I would have anyway. So there's no real. The only liability I had when I was stripping was baby oil and feathers. You know what I mean? So it's
that's an album cover.
Baby oil and feathers.
The new single.
Oh, no, the new single in stores. Cop that.
Now, cop that down. Wow.
Yeah. So, but dealing with that, you have to understand the woman's psyche, and you have to understand attraction in order to do that. Because if you don't understand attraction and you're in that business, you don't eat. You know, if you don't understand how to elicit that attraction. And so what ultimately happened was the business allowed me my proclivity to be let's say a hoe, and you come across situations where you start to see patterns of that people. You know, I always say that all women are the same, and I always get in trouble for that, but I don't really care, because all men are the same too. Like, we all do the same things. You know, nobody, I always say,
except me.
well, nobody goes to the bathroom, right, and takes a crap and faces the tank. You know what I mean? Like, we all sit the same way. We all, there's so many things about being a human being that's you know, is the same for everybody. And so the way we deal with relationships and stuff, but once you have a wide scope, a case study of different women in different situations, you start to see these patterns. And so I started to, and I always was with my boys, and my boys would be breaking up with their girl, and they'd be crying, and you know you don't go with me, and you be like, hey, fuck that bitch. That's the first thing you say. That's our advice. And then I started.
Fuck all the kids. Fuck everybody. Fuck the whole family.
So I started digging into the psyche of it and see how I could understand it. And this is the podcast has been going on for 7 years. And I do one-on-one consultations. Like, you can go on DanteNero.com, click on consult. You got a problem with your girl, got a problem with your dude, you got a problem, whatever. You call me up, we talk on the phone.
I got a question. Do you do couples therapy?
Yeah, I've done that too.
Now, have you ever had a situation where you do couples therapy and maybe the guy comes in and look at you and like, oh, hell no.
Nah.
You know, the insecure dudes like maybe think, oh, nah, my girl's gonna like maybe be attracted to this guy. Well, he's trying to break me up with my girl so he can fuck her.
You know,
don't know how people think.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. If that is the case, he's already lost.
Okay.
Relationship is already a loss.
Now keep it 100.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a couples therapy and you're like, damn, I want to hit this?
Of course. I mean, like, what kind of? What? I mean, well, I'm saying I might have said that, but
I respect the honesty, man. I ain't going to this.
But let's be honest. This how you make your money. You don't fuck your money up.
You act on that, but
right.
You're human.
Come on, it's a bad joint. It's a bad joint. Come on, I'm old, but it still works. It still works, you know what I mean? So, so it is what it is. But yeah, you try to, one of the things, so again, we talk about ACE, authenticity, credibility. So the thing is, that empathy. So if you see dudes having a problem, you don't snatch his girl. Like you go, he's going through this, and you be like, I don't care. Got, and I think if you live by that, everything kind of balances out. You know what I mean?
Okay, so if someone wants consultation or check your show out, how can they do that?
DanteNero.com. You click on consult. Okay. You fill out the time. You book the time, and then you fill out all the information, and I call you up.
So this is a audio thing? You don't have like a set office?
I mean, I could do, well, I mean, it's really, if you think about it, if you all messed up in the game, all you need is a phone call. You know what I'm saying? All you need is need to know how to move forward.
Right. Now, have you saved a lot of relationships?
Yeah, a lot. I mean, I've been doing it for a long time. Right. And I'm better at it now, so now that I lead, I need less information. Right. So, for instance, I think all of the, everything that we do is based on our validation, our ability to try and validate ourselves. Right. So, for instance, if you get a guy and he's 5'4", right? Okay. No offense. But I'm saying if he's 5'4" and you ask him how tall he is and he says, yo, I'm 5'6". Right. The reason why he lies about his height is because he don't think 5'4" is enough. It's enough, right. So he feels like but he also thinks that the measure of his character is his height. which is ridiculous
it's
if
not
you
true.
think. No woman messes with you simply because of your height, or I mean, and you know,
she's super shallow.
right?
There are women like that.
Sure, but if she's super shallow, that's not really.
That's not who you
That's
wanna
really
be.
not what you want to deal with in the first place.
I'm with you. I could be a
Yeah,
counselor.
I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm just.
okay.
It's
Okay.
counterintuitive, but it makes sense.
Right.
You feel what I'm? So, you know what I always try to do is build the guys. Letting him understand what his value is first and foremost. Okay. And so a lot of times dudes will be, or women will be in relationships and then it doesn't work out. So I always say relationships are really, really simple. People overcomplicate it. It's understanding what your non-negotiables are and then never negotiating them. So what I'm saying is people walk into a situation and the chick is bad and then they start negotiating their non-negotiables, which doesn't turn out anyway, because ultimately once you're comfortable with each other and you understand that, you know, you're with this person, now you've negotiated something that you're not willing to compromise, and so the relationship goes to crap anyway, because it all goes to shit because you've negotiated what you're not willing to put up with anyway, and it's only a matter of time till it falls apart.
Wow, I didn't think about that.
You know, and I think when you understand your value, and if you really understand that you have value, then you can ask for what you want.
That's what you want. Right.
So, you know, like if you want a marriage that's where you're together and you're into each other and you know, it's just dope. You know, the relationship is dope. You can have that. If you want multiple chicks and you want to hang out, you could do that. Whatever you want, you can have. You just can't have it with everybody.
Right.
But if you don't think that you're worthy of whatever scenario that you want, then you're telling, there's cues that tells that other person that you don't think you're worthy of what you're asking for.
Right, I got you.
So it's like, you know, maybe you want to hang out with me and this other chick, kinda. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
Whereas if you go, yo, this is how I get down.
Right.
Yo, you in? Are you not? No? All right, nice meeting you.
Right. Okay.
And then when you have that kind of confidence, women will go, well, he clearly thinks he's worth it, so am I missing out? So, you know what I'm saying? And you find that, you know, there's the safety is really important.
Right.
So women find men who make them safe is the first primary thing. And, you know, it's not the six-pack with the cum gutters. You know what I mean? It ain't, it ain't the, you know, the V. It ain't that. It's the fact that what she thinks is important, that she feels safe with you. So, you know, when we talk about empathy, guys don't particularly understand that every time a woman goes out with a dude, murder is on the table. Like her making a mistake about picking the wrong dude, she could end up dead or raped. So you know, you and I don't, that's not something we even consider. That, I mean, because I say if I had to consider murder every time I took a chick out, I wouldn't go out. You know what I mean? But it's kind of amazing that women risk that over and over again. So, but women have a hypersensitive idea to read that danger. So one of the things I say, so if you're not confident, you're indecisive, right? And indecisive reads as if you're being deceptive. And deceptive means you're trying to hide something, which means you could be dangerous. And danger means, yo, I'm out. And that happens in a woman's brain, not even in a brain, like almost subconscious, instantly. Because she can't afford to make that mistake. Because making that mistake could mean her demise. So you have to be able to communicate this kind of confidence in everything you do.
I get it.
Your posture, your voice, how you speak, what you say, because any of those things, it could go left quick, and for a woman it has to. So it's like, you know how you're in a club and every time you look up, you catch some chick's eyes, and every time you look up, now that's what I call the proximity rule. If she's around you, right, she digs you. Now that don't mean you get her or but there's an opportunity there. And the reason why I can prove that is because when you creepy, you don't never see her. You're gonna see her that one time, that creepy incident, and then you won't see her again because she's protecting herself. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
And so the opposite is true. The fact that she feels safe around you is gives you an opportunity that the door is open. Right. Now a lot of dudes just talk their way out of that because they don't understand what they're communicating when they say certain things, you know. So, but that proximity rule is true because the other is true.
So any girl that looks at staring at me, that means she wants you?
No, it's not that she wants you, but she's going. You got a shot. You got a lotto ticket.
I'm gonna start taking these shots.
Jordan didn't hit like that. He got to take a lot. You got to miss a few. You got to miss a few. And then what happens is,
shots, man. I'm taking my shots. Man. Don't look at me. I'm taking the shot. Don't look at me, guys. Word. So listen, before we get out of here, man. How can people, like I said, get in contact with you, check your social media, read more about you? How can they do that?
You can go DanteNero.com. You just click on consult. My Instagram is the Dante Nero. Dante like Dante's Inferno. Okay. Nero like the Italian dude who fiddle when Rome burned.
All right.
I read. So and you can get me there, and I'm doing, I'm a New York City comic, so I work all the clubs in the city.
Okay.
You just check my website. I'm always around.
All right.
And I actually did a second season of Power.
Okay. Dope.
Yeah. I was Luis's hitman.
Oh, you look like a hitman.
Yeah. Well,
I would have hired you in real life.
Yeah, I'm actually a black dude, but people always think I'm Spanish.
No, I see that.
So my
it's the same shit.
Right. But my goal is to one day play a black dude. I haven't played a black. I played Hawaiian, New Zealand, whatever. But hopefully one day my aspiration.
Make that happen, man.
Yeah.
Real quick, who's your favorite comedian?
I'm gonna go with Patrice O'Neal.
Patrice O'Neal?
Yeah.
Okay. Mine is Eddie Murphy. And Martin Lawrence. So.
Yeah, we gotta talk about that.
All right, so there it is, man. DJ Thorough, let him know the name again.
Dante Nero.
Dante Nero. If you have relationship advice or whatever, come and talk to me first, and I'll make sure your wife is, doing the right thing.
He might be shooting his shot. Watch him. He already said he's gonna shoot his shot.
Shoot your shot. Consultation. I can't even get it out. And I'll make sure your relationship stays healthy and. There it is, man. DJ Thorough, man.
Thank you, fam.
All right, there it is.
Appreciate you.